Every tube line has a colour to represent its line. One line being represented by the colour brown is known as the Bakerloo line. The Bakerloo line runs from both northwest of London and South London to both again South London and northwest of London. Elephant and Castle is the Bakerloo line's southern terminus, and Harrow and Willesden is the Bakerloo line's northwestern terminus. In total, the entire line carries 25 stations, with 15 of those stations being underground, and the rest staying overground. Stations from Kilburn Park to Elephant Castle are located underground, as stations from Queen's Park to Harrow and Willesden are located overground. The entire line travels over 23.2 kilometers in miles, 14.4. The 25 stations are Elephant and Castle for Northern Line and National Rail Services, Lambeth North, Waterloo for the Jubilee Northern and Waterloo and City Lines and National Rail Services, Embankment for Circle, District and Northern Lines, Charing Cross for the Northern Line and National Rail Services, Piccadilly Circus for the Piccadilly Line, Oxford Circus for the Victoria and Central Lines, Regent's Park, Baker Street for Circle, Hammersmith and City, Metropolitan and Jubilee Lines, Marylebone for National Rail Services, Edgware Road, Paddington for Circle, District, Hammersmith and City and Elizabeth Lines and National Rail Services, Warwick Avenue, Mendeville, Kilburn Park, Queen's Park for London Overground and National Rail Services, Kensal Green, Wilson Junction, Housden, Stonebridge Park, Wembley Central for National Rail Services, North Wembley, South Kenton, Kenton, and finally Harrow and Willesden for National Rail Services and London Overground services to Watford Junction. After Queen's Park Station to Harrow and Willesden and back to after Kensal Green Station, the Bakerloo line and London Overground services to Euston and Watford Junction share the same tracks running parallel to National Rail services going out and back into London Euston Station. No different than the Victoria Line 67 stock, except from the interior, the 1972 stock running for the Bakerloo line, Britain's oldest trains, have their designs for the line with brown bars, the line's route maps, partially brown seats, forgot to mention the Bakerloo line's stickers on the exterior. There are videos out there on the extension or extensions for the Bakerloo line to reach Lewisham and Hayes and maybe more. Also word on it since news came out to announce the plans on extending the Bakerloo line. The Bakerloo line was part of the Jubilee line to Stanmore and London Overground's Watford Junction branch. It was around 1915 services went ahead to Watford Junction until that reduced in the 60s. Then in 82, the Bakerloo line got cut back to going to Harrow and Willesden. Due to congestion on the Metropolitan line in the middle of 1930s, the Bakerloo line had to save the day by taking its branch to Stanmore in 1939. Before then was for the Metropolitan line. The Bakerloo line got 2 new stations by a new works programme, now serving Jubilee line trains, that is St John's Wood and Swiss Cottage. They replaced 3 stations on the Metropolitan line before the Bakerloo line got its permission to carry passengers to Stanmore, that is Lords, Marylebone Road and Swiss Cottage. The Bakerloo line ran to Stanmore from November 1939 to May 1979, when congestion became an issue, having a similar situation the Metropolitan line had between Finchley Road and Baker Street stations. Congestion on the Bakerloo line was caused by their 2 branches linking up at Baker Street, led to the Jubilee line coming into existence. The Baker Street and Waterloo Railway was the original name of the Bakerloo line, and firstly had its section between Kennington Road, now Lambeth North, to Baker Street on March 1906. It was July 1906 when the name Bakerloo came along and rapidly became catchy. There's a plan to bring back the extension for the Bakerloo line to Watford Junction by 2026 in 3 years, though the best and final bid documentation for the Croxley Rail Link project indicates the Bakerloo line's extension to Watford Junction by 2026 is now unlikely going to occur because of the plans to extend the line are on hold indefinitely due to funding and business case constraints.